Just take on anyone joining as they come. Right. Well, good morning. And this session is a recipe for success, and it is how our markets grew to be a cornerstone in the community with Nancy Sears Perry. And she is our speaker today. She's one of the volunteer market managers of the Yorktown Farmers Marketplace, a farm, food, and artisan market founded in 2008. Because of her incredible vendors, fantastic live music, and activities for all ages, the Yorktown Farmers Marketplace has recently grown from 15 weekly vendors to over 50, with over 100 on their vendor roster. Last season, they were highlighted in Travel Indiana magazine and were voted the #3 market in Indiana in the America's Favorite Farmers Market competition. On Friday evenings, May through September, she would love to have you visit her at the Walnut Grove in the beautiful Morrows Meadow Park, to see why great things are growing in Yorktown. And she also wants you to know that when she's not in her happy place at the market, Nancy is on the board of directors for Orchestra Indiana. She's a founder of the educational advocacy group Decoding Dyslexia Indiana, is an elected official of her town where she and her husband have lived for nearly 30 years, and she's the very proud mom to 4 amazing young adults. And so with that, Nancy, thank you for joining us today and for your presentation, and we look forward to learning from you.
Thank you very much, Jared. It's great to be here. Thanks for asking me to be involved. I became market manager for the Yorktown Farm and Artisan Market in 2021. So I'm starting in 2020, so I'm starting my 5th season. Again, I'm Nancy, and if you'll advance to the next slide. And I'm technically challenged. That wasn't part of my intro, so Christina is helping me. One of our secrets for success is a wonderful team, one part of our recipe. So throughout this presentation, I will sprinkle in members of the volunteer team. This is Jeff Tingler. He is my partner in crime in Yorktown, and we're involved in a lot of things in our community, the market being one. Next slide. So just a history about us. We started in 2008 by local farmers. We run Memorial Day through the end of September. We are on Friday evenings, and we try to work collaboratively with local markets in the area so that vendors can go to our market on Friday and then other markets on Saturday or Sunday. We are in a beautiful park in Yorktown that is a really fun community space that the community is very proud of. We are a rain or shine market. Each week we have 55 to 75 vendors. We are a farm, food, and artisan. Our attendance has jumped from when we were thrilled to have 250 people come by to we now have attendance 1,000 to 1,800 each week, depending on the week. We do accept SNAP. We have a double up program. Several of our vendors independently accept WIC and senior nutrition. Something unique about our market is we are an independent business. We are an LLC, and we also have a 501c3 now that can help us fund some of our educational and food assistance initiatives. Next slide. So one of our big recipes for success, let's see, next, oh, there we go. Our biggest recipe for success has been setting clear, measurable priorities. And we have 3 or 4 very clear priorities. Next slide. Is we want to address food insecurity, empower entrepreneurs, engage children, and build community. And these next slides will go into each of those. Address food insecurity. Next slide. That's our first ingredient. We participate in SNAP. And if you'll advance to that next one. SNAP is the Federal Food Assistance Program through the USDA, formerly known as food stamps. You have to apply through the USDA to become an approved location that accepts SNAP. There is a process to that. I'm sorry, I was seeing comments and I will not look at those so I can look at my slides. They will walk you through that process, but it is a process of forms you have to fill out, documents you have to submit on that main person who runs the SNAP table. The state issues the SNAP EBT card in Indiana. That card is called the Hoosier Works card. And how we set it up at our market, if you'll advance to the next slide. Okay, this is the website. And on this website, there is a place for how do I become a retailer. So look for that. Next slide. We use a state-approved app to process the SNAP transactions, and that app is called Total Pay. When we started using Total Pay, we went through the, I forget, and Christina can help remind me, it was if you'll go, yes, thank you. It was free for that first year. I'm not sure if that grant is still going on, but it was a free grant for the first year. We now pay, it's between $150 and $200 a year to be able to use that app. And we have a Market iPad where we process the SNAP transactions. We use tokens, so we have wooden tokens. Next slide. Yes, this is what the website looks like. The SNAP equipment. This is what the Total Pay Go website looks like. And they also are very helpful and walk you through point of sale. It can be used for other things. You can marry it if your market sells t-shirts or bags. You can marry Total Pay with a point of sale. So you can run cards to sell your t-shirts through that. We don't do that. We did the first year and then decided from then on, this will be our 4th season using this, and we love it. It runs all the reports you need to submit, especially if you're getting grants, which we did through Double Up Indiana. It runs all those reports, so it's fantastic. And if anybody has questions, they're welcome to reach out to me to go into more detail about this. Next slide. We also address this through WIC and senior nutrition. And yeah, you can go ahead and advance. The farmer must apply to accept WIC. In Indiana, the market applies to accept SNAP, and then the market applies to do any of the grants to be able to double up those dollars. The market cannot apply to be the point of contact for WIC or senior nutrition. That is each individual farmer, and our Indiana Department of Health are the ones who can tell you if any individual farmers who attend your market are approved as WIC vendors. And so I contact the state WIC office, and they're helpful with that. And there's a whole way that the person who has the person who receives WIC or senior nutrition benefits has an app that they use that the vendor then scans a QR code, and that's how things are paid. But again, that's all through Legita Wilson at the Indiana WIC office. And she and Ryan are very helpful in getting that information. Next slide. And this is what the WIC website looks like. What I do on my application is when vendors apply, if they are a produce vendor, I give them this information on how they can apply to become a WIC merchant, a WIC vendor. But again, it is up to them. It's not up to me. I can only strongly encourage them to do so. Next. This is Legita's contact information, and she's the contact for SNAP and WIC. And I believe she's speaking at this conference, so you'll have more information from her later as well. Okay, next. Double Up Indiana. That is a grant we received so that if somebody came to our table and used their SNAP EBT card, they would swipe for up to $20 and we could match that for 20. So if they swiped for 20, we could give them 40. If they swiped for 15, we could give them 30. It was just so nice to be able to have those double up dollars. And we received that grant for 2 years. Unfortunately, according to their website, the last time I looked last week, they are, that grant is on hold. So we are now trying to locally fund that double up because the need is still very much there. We saw an increase the first year of over 1,200% in the number of people who came to our market to use their SNAP EBT. You can just make locally grown produce and meats, eggs, cheeses, all of that so much more affordable and accessible when you can do the double up. And people appreciate getting to meet the people who harvest the honey and grow their lettuce. So keep watching that website. If you'll advance to the next slide. Oh, I've explained all of this already. We are funding it locally. We are still going to put out the sign that says Double Up Indiana and all of that because the end consumer doesn't really mind where the additional assistance comes from. It doesn't change the need. The funding source doesn't change the need. We already have great marketing materials, so we're just going to stay the course with that. Okay, next. And this is what Double Up Indiana, their website looks like. Keep watching that. Under the grants tab, you will find information on how to apply and if applications are being accepted. Next. Our second ingredient has been really, really fun. As a farmer's market, of course, we find addressing food insecurity of the utmost priority, but we really want to empower the entrepreneurs who believe in us and are part of what makes, in my opinion, the market such a happy place. Next, please. We create a weekly small business district that descends upon our beautiful park. We have full season vendors, and then we have vendors who rotate through as far as they might sign up to be half season or every other week. The market does a great job of attracting people to the downtown business district, which also then ends up supporting other brick and mortar establishments nearby. The park has a few restaurants within walking distance of it. And I heard one of the local police officers say he always enjoys going into those he always comes to the market first and then goes out to eat. And he said he always sees the local pizza place full of people who've been at the market. And then he goes to the concert that is downtown right after the market. So we like to, let me see. We have had, we support various business models, and we like to see growth in our vendors. And we've had so much of this. It's been really exciting to see. One particular vendor has grown from a tent to a truck, or to a mobile coffee van, to now a food truck. So that's been exciting. And next slide. We do have some really, I feel I'm also on the town council, so I'd like to see the economic impact of what businesses bring to town, the business being the market. We have 50 to 75 vendors. We attract a lot of people. We have various currencies that we are able to track. We SNAP, double up, POP, and if the other vendors report WIC. Vendors report how much this is all anonymous because vendors can be protective of this data. So anonymously, people report that they make anywhere from $250 to $1,200 per market. Some have made more than that. Like I said, downtown restaurants report increased sales due to the market, and something the local Chamber of Commerce has done. They do Friday night concerts. Those concerts used to be on Saturdays most nights and sometimes on Friday, but they found that their attendance was so much higher if they moved all of the concerts to Friday. So now we piggyback on each other, and Yorktown is the place to be in Delaware County on Friday night. And we're pretty proud of all the hard work we've done. All right, next. We provide, how does the market empower entrepreneurs? We provide a low-cost entry point into the small business economy. We, if you want to start out and just get a feel for, hey, is this an idea that could be successful? The entry point at a market is, it's there's not a big cost barrier. Our market fees are around $200 for a full season. And I believe we're the lowest in our area. Next. A nice thing about a market is you get people out in front of a supportive public right away. And some really fun relationships develop between customer and vendor. Next. We offer a place to test the product and get immediate feedback. So it has been fun to watch in real time vendors tweak their product to meet the needs of their audience. That's been really fun. Next. And we empower entrepreneurs by helping them keep more of their income in the business rather than in infrastructure. So you don't have to you're not paying light bills. You're paying your fee for the market, which for us comes out to be about $10 to $15 a week. And we do all the promotion, we get all the people there, and you just come to market with great product, which we're very fortunate. We have a lot of vendors who do that. All right. This is one of our success stories as well. This is Mamas on a Mission. They started off in their at home, just doing things for friends. And then they thought, we'd like to try the market for 4 weeks. They tried the market for 4 weeks. They were such a success. They said, can we extend through the end of the season? They extended through the end of the season that year with one tent. The next year, they came to the market. They wanted to be there the full season, and they wanted 2 tents. By the next year, they were in a small storefront in our downtown business district. And then after that, they have moved to a bigger storefront, also in our downtown area. And they have this fabulous workspace, and they have multiple employees. It's just been such a fun business to watch grow. And they're so supportive of the market. They don't come to the market every week, but they do all of our market t-shirts. And we just love what they do and really believe in how they love Yorktown, and they make it a better place. All right, next. This has been huge in our market and has been so fun. We engage kids because kids are fabulous, and they're so eager, and they love the market. They get it. Of all of our customers, they are the ones who get the magic of the market and feel it the most, I think. Next, we engage kids. We have one of the first things we started was a young entrepreneur program. And boy, this has been really successful. It's always one of the busiest weeks at our market. We have anywhere from 10 to 15 children come, and we set up tents for them, and they share the tents, and they have this small business pod. And it has been fun to see. Some of these young entrepreneurs have been with us the entire time we've had this program. They come once a month. And one vendor, she even started coming as a regular vendor. Actually, we've had 2 children do this. They've been so successful with their products, they now come as regular vendors. And of course, if you come as a regular vendor, your fees are different. And all of the different permits and all of that. We have them adhere to that, even if they're children and they have home baked goods. They still have to go through the training and the labeling process and all of that. But especially if they are weekly vendors with us. This past season, we started a partnership with the high school, with the DECA Club, and that's the marketing and business club at our local high school. So they now have come, and they're part of the education of these children to help them develop their marketing and their product, and how to talk to customers, how to be that front person for your business. And the local Chamber of Commerce, they sponsored young entrepreneurs this past year and hosted a ribbon cutting, which was so fun. The kids thought that was fantastic. So here are some pictures of that ribbon cutting. It was a lot of fun. Okay, next. This has been a game changer for our market. We started Power of Produce. And right away, when we started the Power of Produce, because I am a product of vocational education programming at schools, I went to school in the 80s, and back then we had vocational education, we had career centers. And I just know the good things that come from those organizations. So we partnered with our local FCCLA club, and it's a student organization at our local high school. And they sat at this table. This is Taryn. She is a phenomenal student. She is also the state president of FCCLA, and just is really passionate about this product, or about this table. So what they do, children up through 8th grade can stop by this table every week, and we have flags and signs that mark it. And they get a $2 token to buy produce at the market. You can spend your token that night, or you can save your tokens to buy something like a big pumpkin at the end of the market, or whatever. Vendors have gotten a big kick out of this. This is this young man. The first year we did it was last year, and he came every week. So, and this year he was the first. He wanted to be the first child to receive a token. So we have a lot of fun. If you advance to the next slide, we are very fortunate to have donors who help support this. Our biggest donor, the first year we self-funded it. Well, actually, I am married to that lovely Dr. Kirk Perry, who's listed there. He's a Riley physician. And I was able to sweet talk him into, hey, can you help us float this first year? And so the first year we did it, it was very successful, and he was able to help us in addition to us doing some self-funding. The next year, which was last year, Thrive Credit Union, they, one of the directors, her children just were really wonderful about coming every week the year before, or a lot of the weeks. And so she reached out to me and said, we love this. How can we help? And so I sat down with her and talked about the expenses. And she said, well, we can help. And so they made a big donation, as well as every other logo mentioned there. So it is funded through donations and sponsorships. And it is something, because of the donations and sponsorships, we are able to offer every week. And also, these organizations bring something to the market as well at some point throughout our market season. For example, the Master Gardeners, they are there every other week, and they provide some form of education or activity for children. And the kids have loved that. Into nutrition, they do some live cooking demonstrations. FCCLA, they manage the table for us and enter all of the kids into a database and all of that to track our attendance. And they also provide some nutrition education along the way, like what is produce? What are these different vitamins? And so anyway, they have some different games, and they just mix it up every week. The A there is Arsenal Fitness, and they are a local CrossFit facility. So they might bring a rower, and people can row on the rowing machine, or they might bring free weights or dumbbells. And I know we have a lot of fun with weightlifting. And Kirk just likes to hang out and talk to the kids at the Power of Produce table. He knows a lot of them, and they love seeing him. You know, kids don't always realize that their doctor doesn't live at the office. So that's always it's always fun to see that interaction. Okay, next. So I just saw a question pop up for funding. We don't necessarily ask for any particular amount. I do have a menu. I've put together a menu and of sponsorship options, but then I also leave it open. And I do ask big. If you wanted to be the presenting sponsor of Power of Produce, it was $3,000. But then we have all this marketing we buy. And then some of those sponsors sponsored for 1,000 or 500, or we do tell sponsors we will work with you. And now that we're a 501c3, that has kind of changed the formula for what people are willing to give. When we were just an LLC, people were pulling out of their marketing dollars. But then when now that we're a 501c3, people can access a little different dollars. The Power of Produce, we don't design any of the marketing, so to speak. We pull from the Farmers Market Coalition, and it's a perk of being a member of the Farmers Market Coalition. They have a guide and they have all this, their logo and things you can use to develop your marketing. Okay. And our ingredient number 4 is is this with, okay. Farmers Market Coalition. Oh, yes. Another way we engage with the community is the master gardeners, or engage with children. The master gardeners come. I was telling you a little bit about what they do. We also have a local destination farm. It's West Wind Farm and Fiber. And about once a month, they come to the market with goats and sheep and chickens and bunnies, and have a farm animal experience at the market. And we promote those days. She also registers those days through, it's part of a farm animal, or part of a nature play days in our county. And so she puts those on, she registers those, and she brings a lot to the market, and it's a really hopping place the week she's there. Okay. We, I think, have done a really good job of building community. It is now a place people look forward to going on a Friday night. It's part of their habit. It's part of their routine. Because another part of what I do for the community that's unrelated to this, but weaves together nicely, is I'm on the town council. And we talk about that third space. Where is it you go outside of home that fills you? And we like to make the market that place for the community. And I think we've done a nice job. And by we, it's a team effort. We have some really passionate volunteers who jump in and say, this is what I can do to assist in that. So next, we offer a fun community gathering space for all ages. I try to put activities throughout the market. We have games. Hula hoops have been a wild success. You sprinkle through a few hula hoops in throughout the open spaces, and kids just love it. Here's some kids running through the market. It's just, that makes my week to see children enjoying the market, because that then becomes a part of their memory of what made their community so special. We also have live music. You can see the stage, the middle picture is the stage there. We do pay musicians. Part of vendor fees go to pay weekly musicians, and those musicians perform for 2 hours. And we've seen some local musicians really grow and develop in their talent. and they're now booked regionally as well, but they still come home to the market and perform. I have a funny story that I like to tell about our market. There was a couple in their 70s that we would see at the market, and somebody asked, "Can we take a picture of you for the market, you know, for some of our promotions?" Because they were there every week and were such a, you know, a familiar faces. And they said, "No, our kids don't know we're dating." So that was really sweet and fun. So what happens at the market stays at the market. We did not take nor post their picture. Okay, next. We bring the music. This is Bella. She is one of our musicians. She comes a few times, and she also has a band that performs regionally, and she is a wonderful young lady. She started performing with us when she was in high school, and now is about to graduate college. Okay, next. We build community through the live cooking demonstrations. It is so fun to see Intune Integrated Nutrition come up with these cooking demonstrations, and then she works with the health department to make sure everything is up to standards as far as being able to have people sample then those foods. So I'm so appreciative for her. She is a local farmer. She's also a chef and a nutrition counselor. So she brings a lot to our market. Okay, next. We also help celebrate local nonprofits that we feel really mesh well with the farmers market. We've had a local foster agency there, and they sign up. We provide space for free, and we have depending on how many weeks our market is, and that does vary year to year, but we have 2 to 4 nonprofits each week. The local Alzheimer's Association, Master Gardeners, the Public Library, the Historical Alliance, anything that helps address a need within the community. And then also anything that we feel enhances our community and we feel the community should know about. So, okay, next. We get volunteers from local schools. I've mentioned the local DECA Club, local FCCLA, and the 2 ladies on the left are professors at Ball State University. We are within 10 minutes of a major university. So they help with various aspects of the market. The lady in orange she used to work for the health department. She now is in the business, the food entrepreneurship through the School of Business. So she is a fantastic resource to our market and volunteers with us. And then the lady in the black on the left, she is with the College of Architecture, Urban Planning. She has a big passion for agriculture. She used to be a market manager at a major market before she was a professor. So she comes and helps. And then there I am on the right. And then we did have an intern from Ball State, and she's the cute gal in the pink skirt that she really helped us with some of our social media and just helped us think differently through younger eyes. So we just loved having her, and she really loved the market. And then we did win an award, and that's all of us at our local Quest for the Best in Delaware County. So, okay, next. Oh yeah, here are some resources that will help you dig a little deeper into how to implement some of those 4 recipes or 4 ingredients. Yeah, any questions you might have. I've seen some pop up. If you want to, there's my email address. If you want to reach out to me, I'm glad to answer anything that way. But if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer now.
This might be a great time, Nancy, to kind of just go back through and respond to some of the questions in the chat. I want to make sure that those people who had some questions earlier get those answered. Would that be okay with you?
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw there's
Okay.
quite a few questions, Jared, so we can go over time because we're at lunch. If people
Okay,
want
well,
to stay on.
I have them all right here, and let's just go through kind of in order. So one of the first questions was from Jamie, and it was, do you mind sharing how you count the number of attendees at your market?
Yes, we have. So Jeff, he's one of the vendors, or not vendors. He was one of the people that was in one of the pictures with me. He has quite the math mind, and he's developed this formula. We also have clickers do some numbers throughout the market. We also have one vendor who he is a vendor every week, and he's at multiple markets. He is at a main point of entry. Because we're in a public park, people can enter from all sides. So it is hard to get a count. So I rely on Jeff's statistics and formulas and how he works with the clicker people. and then Joe is the one who he's able to every few weeks be able to tell me this is what it seems like. So it's not an exact count. When our market was small, we were able to do an exact count, but Jeff has some formula for what happens every hour, every half hour, and how we. Now we also have a market that a lot of people come and they're there about a half hour, but then a lot of people come and they're there the whole night, and which is really fun. Okay.
Well, going into that question, we have a couple of them that are asking about staffing the market. And are you a volunteer run market, or do you have any paid staff?
So the upper management is all volunteer. We do make donations to the various student groups for their help, and then that helps them go to state and national conferences. It also gets us a lot of very eager young people who have fantastic ideas. And then the other thing we do is we do pay people to help us set up and tear down, because we do set up anywhere from 6 to 14 tents each week, depending on what week it is and what's happening. We set up every week. We set up, I believe, 10 tables and a whole bunch of chairs. As our market has grown, I used to do a lot of that. The town did say, hey, we can send you some of our town employees. So, and I just saw, where are we storing all of our supplies? We are storing our supplies in a trailer, and that trailer was purchased by me and being paid back by the market. So that's what we have, a trailer that the town allows us to keep on the property. So.
Great, thank you. So one of the next questions then is about the Young Entrepreneur Program. And what was your experience working with the health department on that endeavor?
Yes, we actually, Christiana she's the professor at Ball State. She has a lot of contact with the health department, and we submit all of our vendor names to the health department. And she's the one who every year gets clarification on what our local health department expects. My expectation and what I communicate is I expect children to comply with our health standards. So if your mom isn't allowed to sell it or your dad's not allowed to sell it, you're not either. So if another vendor is expected to label, you're expected to label. So I have heard we can have a level of forgiveness with young entrepreneurs, but if I am doing my due diligence to train young people in being entrepreneurs, training them on rules and regulations and how to follow them is part of that.
That seems like really good advice. Thank you. So the next question is about Pop Club, and Brittany and Sarah had a question somewhat similar. How much is allocated to go out to the kids? I'm assuming in the vouchers or the coupons. And also, is there a limit per person for Pop Club?
Oh, great question. Each child who stops by our pop table, they receive a $2 token, but they also give the people staffing that table their name. And so we know if you've come that night. And we have when we first started the Pop Club, we anticipated we would have 75 children throughout the season who would come, 10 to 15 weeks out of the summer. So that was our mathematical planning ahead of time. We ended up that first season having 424 children come to the market for the Pop Club. Last year, we ended up having close to 500 children come through the Pop Club. They get one token each week. We do have a tracking system so that we can then run data to know, okay, X percentage came 100% of the time, some were 50% of the time. So as this goes on, we know how to budget for it. So it's still, we're still doing the best we can.
Great.
And
Thank
yes,
you.
it is an online resource. It is an online resource. I would be glad to share any of our Power of Produce stuff. Stevie Gale and I also did it's on the website, on your website. We did a presentation together on Power of Produce specifically, and it's an hour long.
So as we continue to go through some of these questions, we do have the survey link up in the chat. And so if you have a moment, please fill that out. But the next question would probably be a great one for a lot of people here. How do you get the word out to the community that they can use SNAP at the market?
It is on all of our marketing that we do through social media. Our town also promotes us on social media. What we have run into as we promote SNAP is our spam just increases. So we warn people because people will post links in the comments that, oh, this is how you fill out this form to get more money. No, it is SNAP fraud and they're going to drain your account. Don't do that. So we try to warn people, but anytime we post about SNAP, we always are overrun with scam accounts that post. We also, anytime we post about the market, we get scams saying, hey, we're accepting vendors, contact us here. So we've had to be really intentional about our messaging that we're a business. We do not post private information on how you contact us. You go to our website. We did have a website developed that was part of the infrastructure that we created. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I think we made it through most of the chat questions. I guess we are going into lunch, but if anyone has any more questions, Nancy, are you still available to answer a few more if anyone has
Oh,
any?
sure. I'd be glad to.
Well, we'll just open up the floor. If anyone has a question, you can unmute or put it in the chat.
What are the best ways that you've found to market your event with the farmers market? We're newer and trying to make sure we reach out to as many people in the community as possible, very limited in resources ourselves. So how do you tie that in, and what's the best way that you've found to get those words out?
We mainly do free through, we have Instagram and Facebook. I found Instagram got a different market, got a younger market, and I connected Instagram to Facebook. So I post once on Instagram and it automatically posts to Facebook. Our marketing with our Facebook audience in the last few years, when I inherited the market, when I took over, we had, I believe, 1,200 Facebook followers. We now have close to 6,000 Facebook followers. So we are fairly consistent with when we post during the season. Off season, because it is volunteer run, I don't do a lot of posting off season. We have had some of our posts go viral, which then increases the audience. You can also, as people like things, you can go in and see if they follow your page on Facebook. If they do not, you can invite them to follow. So I, for a while, was really intentional about inviting people that way to follow. One of our posts that went viral, you can use free Canva, or we have a professional Canva account, and that's been a fantastic investment. But I had a video of a plant growing and said something about great things are growing in Yorktown, you know, something about the market and an application. That video went viral and ended up having like thousands of shares, which then really increased our audience. So that was kind of fun doing. And this was something that our Ball State intern was able to help us with, is doing some things on Instagram in stories and reels. And again, that gets a different audience. There is a whole culture in the Instagram world of dates at farmers markets and how to have a date at a farmers market. So we kind of tapped into some of that culture too.
Second follow-up question.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No.
So we're a small town, and the idea has come up using like the paid marketing that you can do on like Facebook. Is that something that you guys have experience with, and has it been successful for you?
We have done that, and it has been successful. If there's something you want to boost, yes, I just determine what your limit is, and you can go into that feature and you can select some keywords, because on Facebook, people can tell you what they're interested in and all of that, or anybody within a certain mile radius. So yes, that can be on a lower dollars. The other thing we did that really helped get the word out is some people use Facebook and just search events. So we created an event for each market. And so I've already gone in and created events for each of the weeks. And you can do it once and not have to do it every week, because it will ask you when you set up the event, does this repeat? And you can say yes. And give the dates. So you do one bit of work for 20 events. And then some people, like I said, search for events in their area on a Friday night. And they're like, oh, Yorktown's having a market. They have music. They have a food truck. That's been another thing we've done. We've added a food truck every week so people can come to the market for dinner and a show and do some shopping from farm food and artisan vendors. And it can be an evening.
Thank you, Nancy. Any other questions?
We are working toward, our goal is within the next 5 years to be able to have a full-time or have paid management. I mean, I'll keep doing it and I enjoy doing it, but I want to, you know, when I step away, I want to be able to have somebody paid replace me. Our market hours are Friday evenings from 4:30 to 7:30. That seems to work out well with home football games that are on Friday night. We have a lot of folks who once school starts and football starts, they stop by the market and then go to the game. Our opening night of the market is also graduation, and graduation is at the football stadium down the street. So last year it was really sweet to see people stop by the market before graduation. Seniors stop by and buy flowers for their friends and then head down to graduation. So that was fun. One way somebody asked about boosting, we try to partner with organizations that the community already loves. Our scouts, when they come to the market, they promote us and we promote them. So we have that cross-pollination. The marching band, we love our local marching band in the community, and they came one year and did their show before the state fair, did our show at the market, and they stood in the middle of the market. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, and the vendors loved it, the community loved it. And so yeah, we try to cross-pollinate as best we can.
Okay. Well, Christina, do you have anything that you'd like to say before we jump off for lunch?
Well, just thank you, Jared, and especially thank you to Nancy for sharing how Yorktown Farmers Market is growing